Are you a lot wiser? I mean, have you found
Yes, I
that...
am.
Oh, she's not.
Funny
It's
look.
not only a sexy bottom, you know.
Oh! Well, that...
In 1980, America completely lost its mind over one song, "The Winner Takes It All." That track turned Agnetha Fältskog into a living legend right beside ABBA. But just when their fame hit the sky, everything went silent. The group split, no new music, no interviews, just endless gossip about who was dating who and what really went down behind the scenes. Behind Agnetha's soft smile, there was a storm, a wild, emotional roller coaster of love, heartbreak, and obsession that no one truly saw. And now, after 15 long years of silence, the curtain finally lifts. The truth that hid behind the spotlight is out. A story about a woman with insane inner fire, a chaotic love life, and a vault of unseen photos that will leave everyone speechless. Anyone who thought Agnetha was just sweet and gentle, better get ready. This side of her will shock you. Watch till the end, because this story spills secrets that were locked away for decades. Agnetha Åsa Fältskog was born on April 5, 1950, in Jönköping, Sweden. She came from a regular, hard-working family rebuilding their lives after the war. Her father, Ingvar Fältskog, was a dreamer who had to bury his ambitions to run the family shop, while her mother, Anna Margareta Johansson, focused all her energy on keeping their home warm and peaceful. Ingvar loved the stage. He played records non-stop and never saw art as useless. He was actually the first person to tell Agnetha that her voice could take her far beyond that small town. From the time she could talk, she was drawn to melody. At just 6 years old, she wrote her first song, Trollet, a tune full of heart, not just childish fun. Even then, you could feel the emotion she poured into her music. But early talent didn't mean easy times. By 1958, she was studying piano and singing in her church choir, learning not just about music, but about her own self-doubt. She often felt out of place. Her classmates couldn't relate to the kind of fire she carried inside. She wasn't like everyone else, and deep down she knew it. Then, in 1960, came a tiny turning point that changed everything. She and some friends formed a little band called the Cambers. At first, it was pure fun, just a few teens chasing dreams. But the music scene hit hard. No contracts, no gigs, no fame, nothing. The band faded quietly, leaving Agnetha with her first taste of failure. That moment stung, but it woke her up. She realized talent wasn't enough. The world demanded grit. What once felt like pure joy started feeling like a test. Every note carrying pressure, every silence filled with fear of being forgotten. By 15, Agnetha made a decision most kids could never imagine. She dropped out of school to chase the one thing that made her feel alive: music. After leaving school, Agnetha threw herself into small-town stages, anywhere she could sing her heart out. Those little gigs might have been modest, but they were electric. Her voice, clear, emotional, and powerful, instantly caught attention. Members of the Bernd Enghart band were stunned. They knew right away this young girl had something rare. Not just talent, but a kind of emotion that hit straight to the soul. Juggled her day job with late night performances, grinding non-stop. But as the band's fame started growing, life got heavy. The schedule got packed, the pressure piled on, and trying to balance work and music became impossible. So, she made a bold move. She quit her job and bet everything on her passion. That choice showed just how fearless she really was. Around this same time, her breakup with her boyfriend Björn Lilja hit her hard. But instead of falling apart, she turned that heartbreak into art. Out of that pain came her first single, Jag var så kär, I Was So in Love. A raw, emotional song straight from the heart that would soon change her life forever. A demo tape found its way to producer Carl Gerhard Lundqvist at Kupol Records. The moment he heard it, he didn't care about the whole band. He only wanted her. He saw Agnetha's voice as gold, and his offer of a solo recording contract opened the next big door. Even though she felt guilty leaving her bandmates behind, she took the leap, and it paid off big time. In 1967, she recorded Jag var så kär, and just 1 month later, it exploded. By early 1968, it hit #1 on the Swedish charts and sold more than 80,000 copies. That was a massive success for a brand new artist. And she didn't stop there. Songs like Utan dig and Allting har förändrat sig proved she wasn't just a singer, but a real songwriter with her own sound and soul. Then came Försonade, which she entered into Melodifestivalen, Sweden's national contest for Eurovision. It didn't reach the final, but it boosted her fame even more. People everywhere were now talking about Agnetha Fältskog. By the late 1960s, she was a true pop icon in Sweden, appearing on TV constantly, performing live, and getting invited to shows celebrating major composers. But fame, as always, came with drama. In 1969, her single Zigenarven stirred huge controversy when critics accused it of using gypsy themes, a serious issue at the time. The song sparked national debate and gave her an early taste of how brutal fame could be. She tried breaking into international markets, especially Germany, but cultural clashes and different musical tastes made that dream fall short. Still, Agnetha didn't quit. Back home in Sweden, she kept creating, even while dealing with a long, messy copyright battle that dragged on for years. By 1972, her talent reached a new level when she landed the role of Mary Magdalene in the Swedish version of Jesus Christ Superstar. It marked her full artistic evolution, from a small-town girl with big dreams to a powerhouse performer who turned every struggle into strength. By the late 1960s, Agnetha Fältskog had become a full-fledged professional artist, solidly planted in the music scene. Her voice was recognized everywhere, not just in Sweden, but beyond. Then, in 1968, fate stepped in when she met Björn Ulvaeus, a member of the Hootenanny Singers. What started as a friendly connection quickly turned into something deeper, both a creative spark and a passionate romance. Through Björn, Agnetha grew close to Anni-Frid Lyngstad and Benny Andersson, two other musical powerhouses with their own strong personalities. The chemistry between the four was undeniable. Piece by piece, they formed what would soon explode into pop history. ABBA, one of the most legendary groups the world has ever seen. In 1971, Agnetha and Björn tied the knot in the small village of Verum, surrounded by friends, family, and music. It was a sweet, low-key ceremony filled with pure emotion. And yes, Benny Andersson himself played the organ as they said, "I do." Their marriage symbolized more than love. It was a blending of two creative souls, stepping into fame together while trying to hold on to a sense of home. With ABBA's unstoppable rise, their lives became a blur of tours, studios, and flashing lights. In 1973, they welcomed their first child, Linda Elin Ulvaeus, followed by their son, Peter Christian Ulvaeus, in 1977. But while the world saw glitter and smiles behind the scenes, Agnetha was battling a storm within. She struggled to juggle her roles, mother, wife, and world icon, while the demands of fame kept pulling her in every direction. By 1978, the cracks began to show. The marriage, once filled with harmony, started falling apart under the pressure. The emotional distance grew, and by 1980, the couple officially divorced. Yet, in a rare act of strength, Agnetha and Björn made a pact. Their personal heartbreak would never destroy ABBA. They stood side by side on stage, even as their hearts went separate ways. Ironically, that heartbreak birthed one of their most iconic and emotional songs, "The Winner Takes It All." Every line of that song felt like a confession, and Agnetha's trembling voice made it unforgettable. It wasn't just music. It was pain turned into art for the whole world to hear. Even while conquering the globe with ABBA, Agnetha refused to lose her individual spark. In 1975, she released her solo album 11 Kvinner i ett hus, 11 Women in One House. Despite her chaotic schedule recording Waterloo and ABBA, her solo project became a massive hit, staying on the Swedish charts for 53 weeks, longer than any ABBA album. That proved something huge. She wasn't just ABBA's shining voice, she was a creative force all on her own. From 1968 to 1980, Agnetha placed 18 singles on the Swedish charts, most written or co-written by herself. She wasn't just a pop star, she was a storyteller, a composer, and an artist who poured her heart into every song. Her ABBA years weren't just about fame and fortune. They were her life's most intense chapter, filled with passion, heartbreak, family, and art all tangled together. That mix of light and pain became her signature, dazzling but fragile. Then came 1982, when ABBA's golden age quietly began to fade. There was no dramatic breakup, just a silent drifting apart. Agnetha stepped out on her own again, ready to rediscover herself as a solo artist. Her journey was brave, experimental, and full of emotional highs and lows. By the end of 1982, she made waves again by teaming up with Swedish star Thomas Ledin on the duet Never Again. The song was soft yet powerful, and it struck a chord. It shot into the top 5 in Sweden and climbed the charts in Norway, Belgium, and Finland. It was clear Agnetha still had that magic touch, and her voice could make the whole world stop. The hit Never Again was such a success that Agnetha even recorded a Spanish version titled Ya, proof that she was reaching for a global audience from the very start of her solo journey. She wasn't content staying in the comfort zone of being the ABBA girl. She wanted more. That same year, she shocked fans by stepping into acting, taking the lead role in the Swedish film Raskenstam. It was a daring move that showed she was ready to redefine herself, to break away from her glittery ABBA image and step into something raw and real. Then came 1983, and with it a turning point that reintroduced Agnetha to the world. Her first post-ABBA solo album, Wrap Your Arms Around Me. Produced by the famous Mike Chapman, the album exploded across Europe, hitting #1 in Sweden, Norway, Finland, Belgium, and Denmark. It even landed in the top 5 in Germany and the Netherlands, selling around 1.5 million copies in its first year. That's when everyone realized Agnetha Fältskog didn't need ABBA's name to shine. Her single, The Heat Is On, caught fire, dominating charts across the Nordic countries, while Can't Shake Loose became her first song to break into the Billboard Hot 100 in the US. The world was finally seeing her as more than ABBA's voice. She was a star in her own right, unstoppable and daring. In 1985, she followed up with another album, Eyes of a Woman, produced by Eric Stewart of 10cc. Though it didn't create quite the same storm as her debut, it still hit #2 in Sweden and sold about 800,000 copies. The track, I Won't Let You Go, which Agnetha wrote herself, gave fans a clear glimpse of her independence as a songwriter. Personal, emotional, and full of strength. Then, in 1986, she bounced back to the top with a romantic duet. The Way You Are, sung with Ola Håkansson. It topped charts not only in Sweden and Norway, but surprisingly also in Brazil. Her voice still had that magic, warm, powerful, and unmistakable. But fame wasn't her only focus anymore. As the years went by, Agnetha turned her heart toward family. In 1987, she released something completely unexpected, a children's album titled Kom full med I vår karusell, recorded with her young son, Christian. It was soft, joyful, and personal. and even earned a nomination for a Swedish Grammy Award. Later that same year, she flew to Malibu, California to record the album I Stand Alone, working with Peter Cetera and Bruce Geitch. The record dominated the Swedish charts, sitting at #1 for 8 weeks, and became Sweden's best-selling album of 1988. Even though it didn't explode internationally, it marked a creative high point, a project where she poured every emotion she had left into the music. The duet I Wasn't the One Who Said Goodbye with Peter Cetera brought her back to the Billboard Hot 100 and adult contemporary charts in the US, wrapping up a powerful solo decade. Agnetha had proven herself again and again. She wasn't just surviving after ABBA, she was thriving on her own terms. But then, silence. After the bright spotlight of I Stand Alone, Agnetha Fältskog simply vanished from the scene. No press conferences, no drama, no farewell, just quiet. For 17 long years, fans were left wondering what happened. The public whispered, the tabloids speculated, but Agnetha said nothing. It wasn't a breakdown, it was survival. Fame had drained her completely, and she needed to disappear to find peace again. She shut the door on the stage lights, refused interviews, avoided cameras, and built a different kind of life, quiet, private, and real. It was her escape and her healing. Hidden away in the quiet countryside of Ekerö, Agnetha Fältskog built a new kind of life, one far from the chaos of fame. Her days were filled with astrology, yoga, and horseback riding, peaceful escapes that helped heal her shattered soul. It was a world that seemed miles away from glittering stages and screaming crowds. But for Agnetha, it was survival, her way of breathing again. The 1990s didn't bring a glamorous comeback, but instead, a storm of heartbreak and personal pain. In 1990, Agnetha married Dr. Thomas Sonnenfeld, a respected surgeon outside the entertainment world. For a moment, it seemed like she'd finally found peace, someone who understood her need for quiet and normalcy. But that fragile dream didn't last. By 1993, the marriage quietly fell apart, leaving her alone again, staring at a familiar emptiness. And just when she needed strength the most, tragedy hit like lightning. In 1994, Agnetha's mother took her own life by jumping from her apartment balcony in Jönköping. It shattered her world completely. Barely a year later, her father passed away too. Two unbearable losses that ripped open every old wound. The depression she had kept buried for years finally took control, dragging her into one of the darkest chapters of her life. In 1997, desperate for comfort and connection, Agnetha entered a relationship with Gert van der Graaf, a Dutch forklift driver. At first, it looked like a quiet, private romance, something normal finally. But when she decided to end things in 1999, everything turned terrifying. Van der Graaf began stalking her, showing up near her home in Ekerö and making her live in constant fear. Authorities had to step in. A restraining order was issued and he was deported from Sweden in 2000. But the nightmare didn't end there. In 2003, he returned again, was arrested near her property and banned from entering the country. Yet in 2005, after the ban expired, he was spotted once more near her home. A chilling reminder that fame can haunt you forever, even when you try to disappear from it. Amid all this chaos, Agnetha turned back to the only thing that had ever saved her, her voice and her words. In 1996, she released her autobiography, Som jag är, As I Am, an intimate look at her real life behind the fame. No drama, no fake stories, just her truth. It wasn't about selling scandal, it was about finally speaking for herself after decades of silence. Fans felt her pain, her honesty, her humanity, and they embraced her like never before. The English version of the book, released later, became one of the most beloved autobiographies by a Nordic artist. By 1998, it had sold more than 50,000 copies worldwide, proving that the world still cared deeply about Agnetha, not as a pop idol, but as a person who had endured more than anyone ever knew. Around that same time, compilation albums like My Love, My Life were released, carefully curated by Agnetha herself, a quiet, heartfelt gift to her fans who had never stopped waiting for her return. The story of Agnetha Fältskog isn't just about fame or heartbreak. It's about a woman who lived through the brightest lights and the deepest darkness, and somehow found the strength to keep going. Her journey reminds us that even legends are human, fragile, strong, and endlessly real. If you've made it this far, thank you for watching and for keeping Agnetha's story alive. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Your support helps us keep sharing the untold stories of music legends and film icons. See you in the next video.